the Naval Gazing at Camp David. This week's episode, we're looking at one of my favorite yachts, a very unusual vessel, the Neel 51. I hope you enjoy it. As always, we have a wine pairing with this week's yacht. And this week, we're going to Côte d'Iron, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and having La Fiole. Now, this is a little lighter, a little more fun than the serious Châteauneuf-du-Pape that you may have seen with a bottle very similar with that lovely antiquing. The legend about the bottle is that at one point the winery burnt down and the heat was so intense it distorted the bottles. And anyways, I'll leave that to you to research. But La Fiole from Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So let's have a wee work at this. I actually visited this vineyard on our honeymoon, and it really was fantastic. I truly enjoyed it. Okay, now here we go. Again, La Fiole, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Côte d'Iron. It's a 019. I think the technical word is yummy. Okay, let's get into it. Cheers. Looking at this vessel, you can see my brother-in-law had one look at it and indicated that he thought it looked like a spaceship. And he's kind of right. Those tri-hulls are so sexy. The other sexy thing is this is a vessel that won't scare your wife, but you can actually fly a hull on it. So you have the best of the stability of the catamaran with the best, really, all your wife wants to feel of the leaning of a monohull, and it looks fantastic. Here are some of the stats. You can see we're comparing to the Balance 526, the Seawind 1600, the Trimaran 51, and of course the Neel 51. And your upwind sail area is pretty spectacular on the Neel at 171 versus the others. The closest is 144 really. The others are in the 130s. Looking at the cabin top down from the mast, and looking at the pricing, again, this pricing is relative. It's base price, so add 50% in general for your sail away, and with logistics and material costs flying through the roof, just take it with a grain of salt. Looking now into the saloon, you can see how different the Neel is here. This is where you have your main level master cabin, and then looking down into the hulls where everybody else has their one owner's suite on a single hull. You've got your guest suites in the amas, and at the bow of the main hull on the Neel. A very, unusual setup. Your statistics, I'll let you review these. The biggest thing here is that Balance and Seawind, they have a bunch of, top spec opportunities, but the Neel does pretty darn well in as far as specs go on its side, especially given the pricing. And the vessel itself is not as difficult to maneuver as you might think, in that really for the length, it's only a foot or two wider than the competitor. Now here I am scanning down the side of the Neel 51. It is such a handsome vessel. The freeboard is very high, but that gives you your head space in the amas. without causing them, to be too wide. The reverse bows look fantastic, and from what I hear in an Atlantic crossing review, they do a fantastic job cutting through the waves, giving a smooth ride and a controlled ride. As you can see, panning across the stern of the vessel, you've got areas there for your tender. It's lifted on with a hoist off the boom and drops into these holders quite nicely. Great access on, very easy, slight slope up, and the saloon, the cockpit, although it's shallow, feels large given the width, the sheer beam. You really do get a sense of beam even though it's not that much wider. Now here's something you don't see every day. Look into this space. This is on either side. You've got room enough for another cabin in here. And in fact, on the starboard side, that's exactly what they do with it if you want to option a skipper's cabin. But I mean, every toy, every scooter, every electric bike known to man, slide in there and don't even talk about provisioning. Yeah, you've got a complete pantry right there. Looking across the top, you've got space for solar. Now, there's a group called, or a boat called SAN, and they've got a website, Trimaran-SAN.pdf, and they have maximized that solar space. They've got about over 3,400 watts of solar on the roof. And now that is absolutely fantastic when you're looking at significant off-grid, which you certainly can do in this vessel with all the storage space. Panning across, I'd love to see some factory optioned center lounge cushions on the center hull there with a tilt-up back and maybe a cup holder or two. I know you can do the beanbag chair action there, that's great, but it would be really cool to have that in there. You do have opening ports in the front-facing windows, which will give you some decent air movement through as you're moving, and of course you've got the princess or dolphin seat. Nice little touches like this Neel engraved into the cleat there. Good sized side decks, and what's really cool is a flying lounge. Now this, I honestly classify this vessel as a performance cruiser. Those three hulls, the lack of the need for dagger boards or significant mini keels allows this thing to sail upwind and perform extremely well as far as speed goes, because you can fly one of those hulls and reduce your wetted surface significantly. But at the same time, it has this flying lounge, which every other performance cat poo-poos and doesn't have, save for XS, which you'll see their unique solution now. Performance, questionable, but you know what I mean. This, however, you've got this fantastic helm, you've got access to your cockpit, you've got a clear area for your lines where either you can single helm or you can have a crew member up there managing the lines. For that matter, you can have two crew members up there. The cockpit is outstanding. I heard reviews that it felt tiny. It doesn't feel tiny. And when you open up this incredible door and create what Eric Brunel calls the cockloon, and connect it with the saloon, the living space feels fantastic. As a matter of fact, Igor, who was delivering one of these across the Atlantic, sat right in that corner of that seat there, legs out the back, and absolutely loved that location. Said it was just the best location. I'd encourage you to have a look at his review. He did take one of these right across the Atlantic and has split into 4 great videos. He also indicated that this thing handled itself extremely well on that crossing. No creaks, really comfortable movement supporting what Eric Brunel claims, and a really solid, predictable feel as it went through the waves. The saloon is nice. I would like a few more luxury touches, maybe a luxury version. The galley is epic. It's massive. It's oversized. You could land an S-16 on the countertop. You know, if you're a cook and you like that stuff, giddy up. It's got all the stuff you need. It's got, you know, in this version, all electric washer, dishwasher, but I would move the saloon further inboard and cut off a slice of that galley, giving myself a more luxurious saloon if I was Eric looking at this. Moving down into the AMA, yes, it is a little narrow, but overall it is very comfortable. You've got a good access and storage under the berth there. Fantastic cabinet storage. Here, hanging storage, you know, for the tuxedo, for those gaming nights at in Monaco. Isn't that? I mean, that is the imaginary lifestyle, right? The head. Look at the counter space here. You could store a full pharmacy there. The one downside is it's a wet head. I mean, that counter space and the storage space in this bathroom is absolutely fantastic. Look at this, even behind that mirror, huge storage space. So your guests are going to be happy campers. Moving back up into the saloon, and coming across to the main attraction, which is the main deck master. Now, I love the fact that you can walk all around this bed. You can easily make it, because I want my bed made properly. I really don't want to be crawling in and out. I like the idea that you can slide out either side without disturbing Mrs. Orton, and I love that window. It's spectacular. One thing you could add, which they did in the 47, is you could turn the wall that faces forward into smart glass so that you could click it off and actually be able to see your instrumentation and see out the front just by lifting up your head. Now, moving into, this is the one weakness, and that is the ensuite. Now, it's a lovely ensuite, lots of light. You do have some counter space there beside the toilet, no counter space at all around the sink, and the shower's a little small. So Mrs. Orton would probably knock this one off, and as you know, that's what counts. It's the ladies, because they're the ones that are going to say yes to that circumnav. Now, what Eric could do is what he's done in the LEEN 56, his beautiful new power cap, and that is a owner's head down. There's the space to do it. You can see here in my little rendering here, you have a lovely little settee, making the master suite that much more luxurious, making space for the stairs down into the starboard hull, massive walk-in closet, additional closet space from that massive storage space we saw before, and a big, beautiful shower and head area. Now this, we're looking, is the VIP suite in the bow of the Neel 51. I love that round escape hatch window. I know it's an escape hatch, but it looks so cool. Why not mimic it on the other side? I think that would really lighten that area up. Look at this amount of hanging storage here. And then down into the head, it's a nice head, a separate shower, it's a dry head. One concern I have is that I wasn't able to see a vent fan. And this is a fully enclosed area here. If you take a shower, I'd really want a vent fan, but maybe I missed it. Moving back up into the saloon, you can see the forward-facing nav station. Now, hats off to Neel. They put a real seat at this. I hear all this talk about how desperate a forward-facing nav station is necessary on a Cat or a Tri. I don't know why. It's the same guys who were just previously on a monohull, and they sure as heck didn't have a forward-facing nav station that they could see out of on the monohull, and they seem to circumnavigate the globe just fine. But if you're going to have one, and it's great, you have a desk there, have a chair that you could actually do a night watching. Now, here is something, sailing's dirty little secret. So, we'll just reference this. You've seen this hull before on the other side. Sewage. So holding tanks, and then macerators, and then fired overboard untreated. How is that ecological? It's not. We're focused on, you know, basalt fibers and solar and electric drives, but we're dumping raw sewage overboard? How about a sewage treatment plant on board? Raritan Engineering has it, and it's simple. An electric current through plates with salt water or a salt solution, and you're there. Now back into the saloon. You saw there where I would love to straighten out that access down into the port AMA and extend the saloon, cutting off a little bit of the galley. But I'll leave that to your thoughts and Eric. Up, back onto the helm, great area. You do have good visibility. You got your easy visibility of your starboard bow. You've got a flag on your port bow to give you a sense of where it is. And of course, you can hang a camera. You can see underneath the cabin top to the port stern, and of course you can see your starboard stern. This upper deck, the fly lounge, is fantastic. And Laurent, who was the Canadian distributor for Neel, was with me. He'd actually never seen them do the flexi peak all over, and it really added a sense of elegance. I mean, you can do your Pilates, your hot yoga, whatever you want on that thing there. I'll be sitting back watching with a drink in my hand. Cheers. Great mast, single spreader, nice rig, single line reefing, 3 reefs, and huge solar area. I'd love to see a little table here, just pop out of the ledge there, either below the seat or in front of the seat. Just for the drinks and the sundowners. Line handling is very neat and tidy. I'd love to see some electric furlers on those 2 head sails, but I'm a lazy sailor, and of course all of my winches would be electric. Back into the helm, great space there for line handlers if you have them on your crew, and if not, you can whip around there and deal with everything very, very easily yourself. You can see we've got 2 power and a single manual winch. Sorry, real sailors, I wouldn't have a manual winch if you paid me. Down here we go, and again, you gotta look at this. This is gonna blow you. Look at it. You have an entire washer and separate dryer down here, and you still have enough space you could put children down here to play. It's absolutely incredible, the storage space. And we haven't even talked about the stand-up mechanical room and engine room that Eric's got in this. Everybody shows that off. Now, a fella you can chat with here, James from Carry On Sailing. He actually owns one of these and has a great channel, so feel free to look that up. Thanks to Laurent from Quebec, who was my Canadian patriot over there in La Grande Motte. And I hope you enjoyed this tour. Cheers. I'm done.